Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in this video I'm going to show you how you can clad over the back of a fence panel and make it look much more presentable, such as this one behind me. So for this project I've decided to use pallet wood, but you could use many other materials such as feather edge board. So you might have seen on one of my recent videos I built a pallet wood fence, and it's pretty much finished now. There's just one final panel at the end here, and this was already here, and you can see it's the back of the panel. So I thought it'd be a good idea to match it up with the rest of the fence. So what I'm going to do is, it already has these Aris rails, so I'm going to attach pallet boards to it to sort of match the height and make it look uniform. So you might have your own fence like this to do, and you've got the back showing, so you might want to neaten it up. You can use feather edge boards. You see you've got 3 supports here that you can attach them to. You could use a brad gun and just shoot them on, but I'm going to use screws and pallet boards. But because this fence is quite old, over 10 years, I've just given it a bit of extra support. So I've added a few little metal brackets here, and it doesn't need them at the moment, but just in the future, just in case. And I've done that on the tops as well, you can see, and it's nice and sturdy. There's nothing wrong with it, it is just cosmetic. So I've got all my boards laid out there, and I then gave them all 2 coats of fence stain. So you can see I've got the first board already up, and I'm matching up the second board to it. So I'm going to go all the way along and match up each top to make sure that it's straight. And now I'm just making a mark so that I can cut off the excess wood. So I'm just going to use my saw to make a right angle and then cut off that excess piece. So before I put the board up, I'm just going to coat over the sides and the top and the bottom. And I used a hand saw just because it's with a sharp saw it's really easy to cut the wood, and it's quieter as well. So now I'm just putting up the second board, and I'm going to attach it with 4 screws, and I'm going to pilot the holes, and that will keep it nice and straight, and it will stop it from cupping. I'm pushing up the board against the first board, just so that when the wood does contract, there will be just a small gap rather than a larger gap. And I'm just using standard wood screws. And the same at the bottom, pushing the board against the one before it. Okay, so I've completed the top section, as you can see. I've matched that line across to match the other fence, and you can see here it's a bit up and down, but that doesn't matter because I'm going to finish it off with a board of wood like here going across. So now I just need to do the bottom. So when I was doing these, because they're not perfectly straight and some of them are bent a bit, I had to sort of match them up as best I could, and then at the end I've had to cut. You see this piece here, it's narrow at the bottom, I've had to cut it in that shape, and then it's wider at the top just to get a good fit. So now I'm just repeating the process for the bottom. Again, just using the handsaw. This pallet wood cuts really easily, and I'm going to use a spacer here. I've got an offcut of wood, you can see at the bottom there, and it's around 1 centimetre thick, and that will just help me to space all the boards evenly across the bottom and give them all a gap so that the air can flow
through, and so that the water doesn't wick up the boards and rot them. If you'd like to see the video on how I made the pallet wood fence, I'll leave a link in the description below to that video. So now I'm just using another offcut of longer pallet wood for the finishing piece, which will cover all those cut ends. So I'm just going to offer it up in the gap and make a mark. And then just cut off the excess. So now I'm going to drill a few pilot holes, and each end I'm going to put a nice long screw in to start off with. So I'm going to offer it up and put the first screw in, and then line up the second side to get it level, and put in the second screw. So now that was in, I already drilled a few more pilot holes and put some smaller screws along the length just to keep it secure. And then I just gave it all a coat of stain. So now I wanted to give the whole thing a final coat of stain. So I just used a tarpaulin and put it along the bottom and just tucked it under the bottom to make sure that the concrete didn't get stain on it. And now I'm using a 4-inch brush. And that was the fence all finished.
So that's about it for this video. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like and also consider subscribing for more DIY videos, and also leave a comment. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.